Hello everyone, welcome to today's tutorial on Android. In the previous tutorial we saw that how to create Android virtual device, how do you run an app on Hello World. I told you a lot of things about basically what happens if we cancel a particular file and which is downloading and what are the consequences of it. Now there were a lot of queries regarding the installation part and all. Like everyone were getting this properly, only one or two which I actually debugged it, right? And yeah, the query was, which I later on put a video for you now, how to create a virtual device, where we went here and we created a virtual device, and which was not there. Then we do that. Okay, fine. Uh, After that there were some queries about HAXM, which with virtualization couldn't be found in a BIOS. Here it is disabled in BIOS. Now see, certain most of the time 90% of the system don't give that error. But even if it gives that error, what you have to do is that you need to go to your BIOS settings. Now I hope what do you hope what do you know by BIOS setting is that now I've got a system here. Now what I'm gonna do is that I need to shut down my system. Once I shut down my system computer, okay, once I shut down my computer, I need to press F2. So if it is for my my PC, my laptop, it is an F2 key. So when I do that, it will go to my BIOS setting. BIOS setting is a hardware part of what basically I am doing. BIOS setting. Now in that I have got something called a virtualization technology. Okay, uh, virtualization technology, where you can so VTX, that's what it says. It should be enabled, okay, in your BIOS. So if it is, you might get an error message saying that virtualization technology, okay, that will be there, and you should enable that in a BIOS setting. And VTX, if this error comes, VTX is disabled, disabled uh, in your particular BIOS. Then if this message comes, okay, then you need to go to a BIOS setting and do that. Now once you do that, you should close Android Studio, I mean you on your system, and basically you'll run your Android. It should be fine. But still some people are getting an error saying that no, it is not working out. Now what I suggest you is that either uninstall Android Studio and reinstall it. Basically it won't happen, because main thing that error comes is 1 year. Now if you see here, we go to SDK tools, okay, you can see this here, Intel x86 emulator. This is HAXM, that should be installed, and that should be check marked. If you do that, then everything goes fine. Okay, next second part is that now even after you doing that, okay, give me a second. What's happening in the system? All right, okay, now I give a okay. Now one more thing is, you can go to your Android virtual device, okay, where it will show what are the things I showed you in the previous tutorial, how it has to be done. Now some say that they are getting a system. I told you how to do it. If you are getting any errors in your system, and you want to download it, I told you to do that. Okay, all right. Now some were saying that they got you know yeah, here it says the name of this AVD, AVD name, that's what we are giving it. They got x86, okay, that HAXM, okay, that is what they said. The problem goes out here. Now you need to see here properly, kindly see all the option here. Okay, I've got camera emulated virtual. Might be somewhere you have pressed something, you might have given cold boot or something like that. Okay, or you are given more of internal storage or something like that. Now enable device frame. Okay, all right, so you need to enable the device frames, all that, then you give finish. Okay, once you do that, I told you how it is run. Now still you're getting that VTX disabled in BIOS, then you need to go to a BIOS and do that, because might be your system has got some kind of requirements needed. See, I don't know much about your system and the hardware part of it basically, but most of the system, because most of the system run, one or two systems comes like that. okay, or in a count of 1,000, 110 system or 20 system comes like that, will that where 15 to 16 systems will be solved, and rather 4 will be, they'll be uninstalling Android Studio, or they'll switch on to different operating system. Like if they got 7, they'll come to Windows 10 and do that. Now those are the things we can do maximum. This is much I can help you out with it, because I don't know particularly basic your system how it runs. Now I've tried to solve most of the questions out of it, and I also send mails regarding it. I've been in constant touch with you. Now all right, fine, we have got another option. Now what we are going to do here today is that today's tutorial is about how to run an emulator. Okay, I can't explain you much because still people have been having a problem so in their system. So today's tutorial we're gonna learn more about an emulator. So as I told you, we can have a one more option. Now what I'm gonna do here is, as I told you, now for those people who the emulator doesn't work, we're gonna do a different thing today. We will run it on a mobile phones. Now I will tell you how it has to be done. Now I'll send you a PDF file about it, how you have to do it in your phone. Plus I will send a small 2 files, or I'll try to make a video where I can attach those files by doing an editing part of it, where you can run by using your mobile phone. Now the first thing you need to remember is that every phone, every phone which you have got, has got something called now if you want to run any kind of applications, then there is something called a USB debugging. Okay, this is usually used by the developers. Okay, all right, and you need to enable that. Now there is something called a developer option. So you're a developer now, you are creating these apps here, correct, and you want to run it in your mobile phone. So basically at the end of the day, when you're giving it to a company, you giving an app to it, or you're storing in a Google Play Store, you need to develop it and test it in your phones. Actually I wanted to do in a later part, but that's okay, because some emulators won't run because of these things. You can connect your phones. Now how do I do that? Basic things I need to know is that one is USB debugging. Okay, and as I told you what it is, and another thing is that something called developer options. Just remember these things. Okay, I will explain it to you, all these things, how they are interlinked. Okay, these two things you need to remember currently. Now what do you mean by USB debugging? As I told you, we need these two things, USB debugging and developer options. Now in short, if I'm talking about USB debugging, it is a way, for your Android device to communicate with these Android SDKs. Okay, that is the software development kit, over a USB connection. So it is a bridge, I can basically say. It's a device to communicate your Android SDK, which you got here, to communicate with the Android device. So this USB debugging is a way for your Android device, okay, way for your Android device to communicate with the Android SDK over your USB connection. So you need to give a USB connection. So you will be having USB which will be connected to your laptop or your PC, correct? You transfer files and all, am I right? So you connect your USB same way, over a USB connection you do that, correct? Okay, all right. Now what happens, it allows an Android device, that's your phone, to receive commands, files, or anything like uh, what you can say, log files from an Android device, or like from a PC. So you can pull critical information such as log files and all. Okay, so that is one thing. Now is it, there might be a question, is it same as routing? Yeah, basically non-developers, like people who don't write codes and all, commonly enable this USB debugging to root their phones. Okay, so routing I will not talk much about it. You can just Google what do you mean by routing. I just wanted to give you an explanation what do you mean by a USB debugging. So what do we do in USB debugging? Nothing, it's a way for your particular phone or Android device to communicate with your SDKs, okay, over a phone, or over a USB connection, that is through your wire. Okay, USB connection wire. Now how do I do that, and where do you find all these things? Where does this USB debugging will be there? It will be inside developer option. So you're a developer. To do USB debugging you need to be a developer. So in the phones, basically if you need to run an app, they give you an option. They call, for the developers, you got an options called USB debugging, so you can run your particular apks in this, or files and applications in your phone. Now how do I do that? Now, as I told you, I will send you, one is a doc file or a PDF file and a screen recorder from my phone, which you can see how I move it in my phone. Very defined. Okay, now there are lots of sites, websites, where it will tell you how to do USB debugging. Okay, basic, I will tell you. Where do you find it? Okay, you need to go to your about phone. Now lots of phones will be having USB debugging in a different place. Okay, so you can just go to about phone. In about phone, you'll be finding something called a build version of your particular phone. Okay, build version or a build name of that particular phone. Now after you go there, you need to click 7 times. Okay, now I'll tell you why. Because if you need to get this option called developer option, you need to go to about phone. That about phone is in settings of your particular phone. Okay, phone settings. Okay, if you're talking about your phone, then it will be in your phone settings. Inside settings, you need to go to about phone. If you have not used this developer options before, then you get in about phone, there is something called a build name or a build version. Then version, what the number is particularly built of your phone, and you need to click it 7 times. Tap it 7 times. Hope you know what you mean by clicking a tap it. Tap it 7 times. Hit it in your finger 7 times. When you do that, it will say, it will open something called a developer options. Okay, then you need to check that, and inside that you will be having USB debugging. You should enable those two things. Once you do that, then how it is connected. Now once you do so much, once you have done so much, in the video I will show you, it will be very easy. Once you do so much, I'll repeat again how to do a debug in the phone. First you need to have a, as I told you, what do you mean by all these things, is just to connect your phone to your Android Studio. As I told you, some people cannot run emulator. This is also one of the way, or everyone can do it if you want to run it really faster. So most of you can do these things. Okay, now how do I do that? You need to have pop up this USB debugging. And how do I do that? You need to go to your phone settings. Okay, in your phone there is settings. You need to go about phone. Sorry, you need to go about phone. In that there is something called build name or a build version. You need to click 7 times. Once you click 7 times or tap 7 times, okay, whatever, let it be tap 7 times. If you click, okay, all right, tap 7 times, then you get this option, developer option. You need to enable that, means check it. Okay, enable it. Okay, once you enable it, you get here, you'll come here. There are lots of things in that. You need to enable this USB debugging. I will send you a small video in my phone by doing screen recorder. There also it will be easy. Now if you want to try, you can try this. Now once this is done, you need to connect your, like how you got a charger, right? To connect, to charge your phone, same way you need to use that USB and connect it to your laptop. Oh, okay, all right. Now you need to connect your USB. So you need to connect the USB cable to your laptop. Okay, and to the phone, the one end to the phone, one end to the laptop. Now when you do that, you will get an options, right? In a, now if I do this, okay, no, all right, now if I come here to this PC, okay, now when you connect it, you will get an options. Now basically in Oppo phone and all, it will not get highlighted unless and until you say, it pops an options for you, correct? It pops an options in your phone saying that what options you need. So it will when you connect it, it will give you 4 options like transfer files, charge only, transfer photos, cancel, correct? Now you need to select transfer files. When you select transfer files, something pops up here, correct? The Oppo F9 pops. You don't have to open it. Okay, it's just like yeah, F9 Pro. Your phone is recognized by your particular PC. Now as soon as you do this and you have done you have done all these procedures, okay, all these procedures, and you have done what do you say, enabled all these things, then your phone will suggest you to use allow USB debugging. All right, that when if you want to run the phone. Now once I do that, forget that, I will tell you what it is. Once you recognize yours here, now when you come here, okay, you need to, when you see here there is an the device which are loaded, correct? So emulator was in excess. Can you see here, if I run on the mobile multiple devices, now you don't see the option of my phone, because the when I connect this and when I've enabled the USB debugging, okay, when I connect my phone and if my Android Studio is on, okay, it will send me a pop-up window saying that allow USB debugging. Okay, now I need to check mark that. Okay, so there is RSA key, fingerprint and all. For that you don't have to know about it. So you say okay. Now currently I don't find anything here, correct? You don't find my Oppo CH123 something, some number. So when I say okay here and I'm gonna press it in my phone, okay, now when you click here, okay, can you see it? Yes, Oppo CPH1823. Now this comes into act. Now this happens when you enable your USB. Remember, it pops. You need to enable it and then you need to open Android Studio. Okay, and when you're opening Android Studio, and it will automatically take you to Oppo. If it doesn't come, okay, all right, you need to see build the app and clean the project. It will come automatically. It has to come because you have enabled the USB debugging. Okay, till I don't think so any problem will come out here, because I'm showing you very clearly here. Okay, so it will come here. Now once I do that, now when I say run my project, okay, run my app, so if I got an emulator here, I'm gonna close this emulator here. Okay, I don't need an emulator. Okay, now it is loaded in my phone. Okay, so Gradle is finished, so I don't need my phone out here. Now it is installed successfully, correct? Now Gradle is finished, am I right? Okay, it says Gradle is done. Now I don't have anything here. It won't load it here in this emulator also, correct? It won't load in my emulator also because I just closed that emulator. It takes time. Yeah, now you can't see my emulator, am I right? Now okay, that's pretty interesting. Okay, all right, now you cannot find my emulator, so emulator process is finished with the exit code. Now again I will run if you feel that it was running in my this thing. Now I don't have emulator, but is it saying the Gradle is building, it is installed, and it is installed in my phone. Now I'll send you this thing in Word. I'll pull the screenshot, plus I will send you a screen recorder video of my phone how it is done, and all these things are done using my phone. So you need to know that even you can run in your phone. If your emulator is not working here, you can also run in the phone. Okay guys, that's it guys for the today, because I just wanted to tell you how it runs in the phone. Might be it will be useful for you because this video, because if your emulator is not working, you can do it in the phone. So remember, we need to do these things. You need to go to your phone settings, about phone, build version, tap it 7 times. Okay, then use the USB cable. Later part, go to once you tap it 7 times, your developer option will be popping out. You need to enable it. Go inside that, click on that, go inside that, you'll find something called USB debugging. You need to enable it. It might give you a screen saying that this is used for developers only. Don't go, you say okay, all right, because you are a developer now, correct? You are running and going to run an application, correct? Now make sure your Android Studio is on up and running that time. Then once you do that, what I told you, next what we need to do, you need to connect your USB cable. You need to connect your USB cable, okay, to your phone and to your PC. Once you do that, make sure that you do transfer files, not charge only, or not transfer photos, transfer files, because this thing should pop up here. Remember that this thing should pop up here. Okay, once you do that, you have to come to Android Studio. When you click here, and once you do that, automatically you'll get a message there. Why? You have enabled USB debugging. Automatically you'll get a message there saying allow USB debugging. There will be a RSA fingerprint key and all in that. So you say okay, then it will pop up here. Once you pop up here, easy to run, your application will run on that. So after this video, I will also send that, I will make that video and send it to you. Okay guys, hope you understood it. I hope I've solved all of your queries. So if there is anything, tomorrow we're gonna learn about all these things. So sorry, because there are a lot of questions today, and I think this was also a better option for you instead of telling in after. I wanted to tell you after a few days, but I think this is better, easier for you, so that you are you can also cope up with. So thank you guys, thank you for watching my video. Have a nice day. Thank you.